Hello there. I was worried about you. You arrived 1 second late in the new year courtesy of some time shift phenomenon. Meaning that you missed one of the major events in Washington, for lack of anything else going on there lately, the Goldfinger showdown. You can relax. Area 51 is in uproar again. Uproar over an appointment of a senator by a governor who was arrested but not convicted, against whom no indictment has been obtained, and who so far has not been impeached, but who had the audacity to appoint a tan Obama successor. Whether you like it or not, it looks like Goldfinger will be with us for a long time to come. Oh, and for those who are unfamiliar with my irreverence, Goldfinger is Illinois Governor Blagojevich and Area 51 is Washington, D.C. It is interesting how some senators are incapable of sticking to the issues at hand. There are only a few. First issue is whether a sitting Illinois governor who appointed somebody to the Senate has the authority to do so. The answer is of course yes, as Illinois law clearly says so. The law is much less specific when it comes to impeachment. If the Senate, the Illinois Secretary of State, or the Illinois legislature did not want the sitting governor to appoint former State Attorney General Roland Burris, they could have changed the law or at least tried to impeach Goldfinger. As of this moment, they did neither. Conclusion? Blagojevich is the declared and elected governor. The next issue is why the Illinois legislature drags its feet to come to a decision whether or not to impeach Blago. Could it be that the Illinois Constitution or whatever law applies is wishy-washy about it? The fact is that Goldfinger, as of this moment, has not only not been indicted, but, contrary to Patrick Fitzgerald's former statements, the prosecutor's case appears to be so weak that he had to ask for a 90 days extension to even seek an indictment.
The conduct would make Lincoln roll over in his grave. The governor's own words describing the Senate seat, quote, "It's a bleeping valuable thing, you just don't give it away for nothing."
Frankly, for a moment I saw the light at the end of the tunnel when Fitzgerald had Blago arrested. Finally, somebody who goes after corruption. Dream on. The third issue is why the Senate exposes itself to the accusation of racism, given the fact that there is currently no black senator and the one just appointed has an impeccable record. At least, that is his statement. Whether the Illinois Secretary of State knows better is another issue entirely. As to Congress and Senate, I am amazed about the incompetence to analyze, let alone comprehend, even the most simple legal issues. Let's look for a moment at the issue of felon senators. Don't we know dozens of cases where senators or congressmen have been indicted and convicted, yet were allowed to continue in their office? I ran a Google search and in less than 1 second it came up with over 1 million hits, not counting Stevens and Craig. 1 million. Talking about a crime family. Take the case of Alaska Republican Senator Ted Stevens. He was indicted of having failed to report gifts on July 29, 2008. On October 27, 2008, he was found guilty, yet not only continued his office but ran for re-election, which he lost only because his conviction was too much even for Alaskans. Unless, of course, Alaska elections are run on Diebold equipment, if you get my drift. Or take Republican Senator Larry Craig, who couldn't keep his fingers to himself in a public restroom. He was convicted after pleading guilty to disorderly conduct, but later tried unsuccessfully to withdraw his plea. Was he removed from office? Nope. But he didn't run for re-election in 2008. In the House, in turn, Democrat William Jefferson of Louisiana was indicted on bribery charges, but continued his work in Congress until he was finally defeated in the 2008 election. Diebold? True, he was stripped of his committee positions, but otherwise left unchallenged. Republican Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison of Texas was indicted in 1994 on tampering with evidence. She was not forced to resign and was eventually acquitted. So, what is the uproar about the appointment of Roland Burris to the Senate all about? Because he was appointed by Blagojevich, who at this moment has not even been indicted? Or is it, as some say, because Burris is an African American? I hate that term. Let's call him a tan person. No offense, but African American is a racist term. Either he is American or he is not. I mean, I would be a European American, would I not? Back to the issues. Is this whole thing about racism? Or is it because the Republicans want a special election in Illinois which could yield a Republican governor, if by nothing else than by default voting equipment? By the way, Burris is going to court, and if everything else is above board, like no ex parte calls by senators to judges, he will win. As to you, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a prosperous, maybe even happy New Year. By the way, I'm looking into producing a documentary on the Bush legacy, with some new material to be included. The documentary would be distributed by Amazon via its on-demand video section. Any comments you may have are most welcome. Oh, finally, yesterday I went to Joy Luck and picked up some Cantonese seafood soup. They gave me a couple of fortune cookies, one saying when it gets dark you can see the stars. The other one, the usefulness of a cup is in its emptiness. I mean, what the hell Italian restaurant is that, giving me such banalities? I want to know whether I am going to be rich tomorrow, not that I may be bit by a squirrel if tempted with a nut. I tell you, where the hell have we come to?